How to Paint a Seascape in Watercolor by Ilya Ibryaev. In this video lesson, you will discover how to paint a seascape in watercolor. Here is the artwork that I will get by the end of this lesson. This seascape is quite simple. It is just before sunset, the sky is reflected on the sea, and there are a few details on the foreground. Let's begin. We will start with the composition drawing. I paint this seascape from memory. That is why the composition does not have to follow a specific sea view precisely. First, we need to decide on the big masses. What do you want to show more, the sky or the sea? It is advisable not to place the horizon line exactly in the middle. In this artwork, I have decided to give more space to the sea and to the shore. Therefore, I am placing the horizon line a bit higher, and I am giving about 1/3 of the height to the sky. I draw the horizon freehand. You don't have to use a ruler to make a straight line. If you would prefer, rather than having 1/3 of the sky and 2/3 of the sea, you could use a golden proportion instead. A composition always looks better when some golden ratios are there. It is a very schematic sketch without many details. So far, I am only interested in general masses, such as the area of the sky, mountains, and the sea with the shore. Do not worry if you do not see too much of this drawing. This is because I am using very light pencil pressure. This sketch is almost invisible. The actual drawing will happen later when I do this with a brush in watercolor. I don't have the final picture of every detail in my head for now. This will happen later, when I see this artwork in color. At the moment, faint lines are enough to define the composition. This watercolor will be made using the alla prima painting technique. When painting landscapes or seascapes, it is always better to start from the top, so we paint the sky first. In most cases, the sky is darker at the top and lighter closer to the horizon. Of course, there could be some exceptions when particularly dark clouds change this rule. I will use the round mop brush to paint the sky. In our case, the sky has a visible gradient from colder, more bluish colors at the top to warmer or yellow colors closer to the horizon. For the warm part of the sky, I use yellow ochre light and I add a little bit of cadmium orange. Cadmium yellow can also be added to the mix. I must point out that these cadmium paints were used before Winsor & Newton created a new range of cadmium-free watercolor paints. For the sky, I used the wet-on-dry painting technique. The brush is fully loaded with paint, and I am covering the whole area of the sky with a very light yellow tint. You can see that on my palette, the warm mix consists of two areas, a bit warmer on the left-hand side and more yellowish on the right-hand side. I add a little bit more cadmium orange as well as cadmium red into the sky to warm up the color.